I'm never happy with any of the decisions that were potentially going into this project. That was pre and post manufacture of what was getting done. I was phased out completely.
And why do you believe you were phased out?
Because I embarrassed the CEO on the Andrea Doria rig. I didn't mean to, but there was an incident on the Doria. It was meant to be my dive. I was meant to take 4 paying clients down to the wreck, and the intention of that entire trip with these mission specialists was we had new sonar fitted to the submersible. We were going to be doing 3D modeling of the wreck. The wreck itself, it's dangerous. We knew it was falling to bits. We did our research, and the plan was I was going to be dropping down over several days, keeping distance from the wreck completely, and basically circumnavigating the wreck at 50 meters away and carrying out sonar scans to create this 3D model of the wreck itself, which, in all good intentions, it was so that divers, future divers, can see exactly what's happening with the decay and degradation of the hull of the Doria itself. It is a very famous vessel, but deadly. I mean, I don't know today, but at the time, I think there was like 18 deaths on the Doria with technical divers diving on it. Yeah, unfortunately, the CEO decided that he wanted to take it down. I objected, because I know sometimes he could do things to please himself. He told me I was staying out. I objected again. I was sort of reined in at the time. Just remember, I'm the CEO, you're just an employee. I eventually persuaded him to let me come in on the dive, so we reduced the paying passengers down to 3, and Stockton said he was taking it down. The first attempt that we did when we were on the surface, the MS Lars just got blown away with the currents. We did tell him, he wouldn't listen. The vessel captain was very wary about the currents at the time. I tried to give my input in terms of the weather. It's a very exposed area. So we towed the vehicle so that it was in a good position. Stockton took the helm. The controls for Cyclops, it's actually done at the back of the vehicle, and there is camera systems mounted to the, I don't know now, but there was camera systems mounted only to the front, just above the acrylic sphere, the forward viewing dome. And you controlled it on the back with, yes, the PlayStation controller. And when we went to do the dive platform was submerged down to its working depth, 12 feet, 15 feet. Took it down so that it's away from the adverse weather conditions. He attempted to take it off. He didn't do it very well. He ended up bending the dive skids on the bottom, the landing skids, which are usually flat, which contained the drop weights. We deployed diver to verify. And anyway, we got the thumbs up. He departed from the MS Lars at depth, came up to the surface, which we usually did, established main communications with the vessel. And from there, he took it down. I kept saying, please keep your distance. Don't tell me what to do. That was the conversation. He decided to go straight for the wreck. He had on sonar, clear sonar image. You could see the wreck, and boom. As I said, it's not very deep. Visibility's not excellent, but it was clear enough. Good ambient light that day, and he came straight down, hard on the bottom. No trimming, no ballast, nothing. Smash straight down on the bottom. Visibility went everywhere. You could see a silhouette, and it was the 2 clients that were sitting in the viewing dome right next to the acrylic. And they were like, oh my God, we are right on the wreck. So I said to Stockton, please, all stop telling me what to do. Stockton, all stop. We have to see what's going on here. We have to look at our surroundings, which is standard practice for any competent submersible pilot. And from there, visibility cleared. We could see metal plates and we could clearly see the starboard side of the bow of the Andrea Doria. We could see all the debris, we could see hawser lines, we could see panels coming off. It was an absolute mess. So I said, Stockton, please, and he just kept arguing with me in the sub. Very unbecoming of a submersible pilot. I was trying to guide him. I'm trying to give the best course of action to get him out of it. No matter what, I'm doing this. So he blew air in the tank, in the ballast tank, came off the bottom, motored full stick ahead, unbeknownst to everybody else, and I don't know why. He decided to turn the submersible 180 degrees at speed, still coming ahead, so he wasn't looking at his surroundings. He could have quite easily went up into the viewing dome, he could have went up into the tower, because it's got a clear acrylic hatch on there. And he basically drove at full speed into the port side of the bow, and we could hear the cracking of the fairing as he got us jammed in underneath. So I'm not going to say how foul my language was, but it wasn't good. And at that point, it was unprofessional behaviour of him. He started to panic. And the first thing was, do we have enough life support on board? I was like, Stockton, of course we got enough life support. We need to get out here. When do you think the dive team could come to get us out? Stockton, please, give me the controls. I'm going to get us out of this. We're stuck, we're stuck, we're stuck. Repeatedly, every time I went to take the controller from him, he pushed it further and further behind him, inside the submersible itself. I said, I can be quite vocal sometimes. At that point, it went on and on and on. I'm looking up inside the upper hatch. I could see where there was fishing line draping over the top of the sub, all the metal rebar. There was debris everywhere. He never once got out the seat in the back of the sub to go and look at his surroundings. So I said, let's get a communications check. Let's talk to the top side, let them know what's going on. What if there's no comms? I'm like, give me the controls. Let me talk to them. Let me talk to top side, and I'm going to get us out of this. This went on and on and on for a period of time. And eventually it took one of the paying clients to turn round, and Renata, who you're interviewing on Thursday, she shouted at Stockton to give me the effing controller. She had tears in her eyes. He reached round behind him. I had my head up inside the tower, so I'm still looking at the wreck, and he clattered it off the right side of my head. The controller landed on the deck plate. One of the buttons came off, the robust PlayStation controller. And I picked it up, repaired it, and had us out 10, 15 minutes. Motored away from the wreck, came away 50 metres using the sonar, turned us round, dropped down, and I said, that is what we're supposed to do. And at that point, he was upset. He said, I owe you one, anything I can do for you. We came back on board the ship, and the divers had to reattach us onto the MS Lars once we recovered to the surface, because the deck skids were so badly damaged when he did the departing from the platform, because he did it incorrectly. And came back up on top. Obviously, the paying clients, I know one of them was definitely a good friend of Stockton's. We had Renata and one of Renata's friends. And from there, it was all, oh, cheers, David saved us. Slight exaggeration. It shouldn't have got to the stage it got to. If he in any way had behaved like any other submersible pilot I know and looked at his surroundings, talked on the radio, on the communications, let the top side know so there's an issue. He didn't do it. And then because people were cheering and the passengers were obviously very grateful for what I did, which to me is just my job, at that point he stopped talking to me. And yeah,